All right, welcome back on the second session. For this session, we have just created the database and we're going to start creating a WPF applications, which is the UI layer. So go ahead and launch your Visual Studio and we're going to have a new project, a new WPF project here, right? So just click OK and let it launch the template project. All right, so first we're gonna find an iPod interface. Okay, so what you can do is, you can simply go to the Google, to search for a this is what you call the iPod interface, right? So you can type the iPod PNG if you want, and there's a lot for you to select from, and that's where you can actually download it and put it as your UI interface, right? As what you wish. So what I have with me is I already prepared the iPod that I call it iPod, and I also have some sample songs, right? So what you're gonna do here is to actually copy over the songs and the iPod uh, user interface. And so we start off by opening the folder of our source codes here, and that's where you will transfer your songs and your iPod UI over, right? So this is how I'm gonna move it over, right? So I have my songs and I have my iPod JPEG here, and now it exists in your physical file here, but it doesn't exist in your project, right? So you got to include that into your project by going to the show all the files, right, including all those files that haven't included in your project solution here. So you will be seeing the songs as well as the iPod, right? So I'm gonna right click on the iPod JPEG and say include in the project. I want to make sure that it always copy to my output folder, which is the binary, the bin, the bug or release folder, as well as the songs. If there are changes to the songs, so um, I'm going to include that into the project, and I want to kind of copy it if that's a newer songs, or you can always copy it, yeah, right? So I'm just select copy. Okay, so once you have the songs ready and your picture ready, yeah, you can go ahead and drag the toolbox of the image over, right? So this is from the WPF controls, and that's how I drag the image over. And of course, you want to give it a meaningful name here, right? So go ahead and give it a name. Um, and on the source here, you find that you can actually make a drop down and select the iPod, which is available because you have already included the only picture into your project, right? So I'm going to just scale it over to make sure that it looks good and fit to the area, right? So you can even zoom in a little bit to see how it fit well, right? So that's how you prepare the user interface here for your uh, sounds UI. Okay, so go ahead and always refer back to your slides whenever you have doubts. The slides are pretty good in demonstrating all the stats over. And there's one thing that you want to make sure you always have the link to SQL tools that already been enabled, because this Visual Studio 2017 actually try to save some space and did not include these tools which is required for your syllabus and your TME, right? So if you're not sure where to get this, you can just go to the Visual Studio installer and browse it here. There's an installer stuff that you can actually click on it, and it will show it to you. And you would just come here and click the modify, and you will be able to choose the component tools from there, right? Individual components, and just scroll it to the code tools and make a check on the link to SQL tools, right? And click the modify to start downloading the additional tools. Okay, right. So um, let's go back to the WPF here. All right, and what you're gonna do here is um, you can actually create a list box, right? The list box is to actually list your song items, and I can go ahead and drag the list box songs here, right? Just make sure that they fit to the screen here, right? Okay, yeah, and that's gonna prepare for our next step on how to create additional data source. Okay, so we'll see you again.